Hello, my name's George Baxter. I'm here today at our Stowbridge RTC site. I'm currently stood in a field of oilseed rape, and we're going to be looking at the difference of two oilseed rape fields, one of which Alex has had for a long time, and one is a new field to Alex a couple of years ago. And we're going to look at the previous soil management and how that's affecting the soil structure, which is ultimately having an effect on the two fields of rape that were both drilled on the same day with the same starter fertiliser. Both the fields have been terra mapped and have both had a healthy soils assessment, and a bit later in the video we'll be looking into both fields to see what's happening. So I'm here in the field that Alex has had significantly longer than the other field, and you can definitely tell the difference. I'll first just start by saying that Alex isn't planning on growing oilseed rape in the future. Due to the flea beetle problems and the problems we're having with establishing a crop. Neither of these crops are great, but this one is noticeably better than the one to my right. But as we can see, we have significant number of flea beetle larval damage on the stems, which is making this crop a very difficult crop to grow. So I think in the future it really comes down to, can we grow this crop? But I want to focus more on the soil, as I believe in this case it is more of a soil problem. Alex's soil that he's managed here for many years is just absolutely alive with worms, root growth through it. The soil's really friable to depth. Unlike the other soil, it's just, there's a lot more activity going on in here, and I believe this is in part some of what's going on and why this crop of rape looks significantly better than the field next to me. Now, even with good soil, we're still seeing the problem with flea beetle attacking the rape crop, but we'll go through to the next field now and I'll show you the difference in soil condition, and I really think that's what's making the difference for this crop. So I'm here in the field that Alex has only had under his management for a couple of years. I'm in a fairly typical part of this field. It's a lot thinner crop of rape, a lot shorter, a lot more gappy, and I've just dug a pit to see what the soil's doing, and very different to the pit we've just been in. The roots are tending to flow around the blocks. It's a lot more blocky in structure. As I break it up, it requires a lot more force to break it up, and there's very little worm activity when you compare it to the block that we pulled up in the previous field, which is definitely leading me to believe that the management that Alex has been putting on the farm, what we saw in the previous field, is definitely somewhat helping with the crop establishment and the crop to be slightly more ahead of this crop. So just to illustrate the difference in the soil between the two fields, in my left hand I have a piece of soil from the top surface of the field that Alex has had in his management for many years, and in my right hand a piece of soil from the surface that in the field he's only had in his management for a couple of years. And you can just see the difference in root structures there, albeit this one is slightly drier. But the wormholes, there's tenfold more in this block on my left than there is on this block in my right. The difference in soil structure is really evident. This one breaks up into a much finer crumb, whereas this tends to stay more angular and blocky. On a Vest test score, this would be a 1 nearer a 2. This one would be a 2 nearer a 3. So quite some significant difference in between the soils that are only just 50 metres away.